Look out the window on your next flight. Notice the shape. The corners are round, not a single sharp angle anywhere. And that isn't just a design choice, it's a scar. Because in the 1950s, airplane windows were square. And those square windows tore planes out of the sky, killing everyone on board. This is the story of how we found out why. And it begins with the most advanced aircraft the world had ever seen. A plane called the Comet. When the Comet entered service in 1952, it felt like science fiction. It was the world's first jetliner. While every other airplane rumbled along on propellers, the Comet flew on pure jet power, smooth and almost silent. It cruised above the storms at 35,000 feet, at nearly twice the speed of anything else in the sky. Passengers stepped aboard in their finest clothes. It was the pride of a nation and the symbol of a new age of travel. And then, it started killing people. First, one comet fell from the sky, then another, then a third. They didn't crash on takeoff or on landing. They simply came apart in midair, at altitude, over the ocean. Every soul on board gone. The fleet was grounded, and nobody knew why. What followed was one of the most determined investigations in history. The British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, ordered that the cause be found, no matter the cost. But how do you investigate a plane that has shattered into 1,000 pieces and sunk to the bottom of the sea? The answer was staggering. The Royal Navy was sent to recover the wreckage, fragment by fragment, from the sea floor. And back on land, engineers slowly rebuilt the broken aircraft, like a three-dimensional puzzle. Then came the masterstroke. They took a complete comet and sealed it inside an enormous tank of water. They filled the cabin with pressure, then let it go. Then again, and again. Each cycle recreating the strain of a single flight, compressed into minutes. They ran it thousands of times, hunting for an invisible flaw. And then, deep in the tank, the aircraft split open. At last, they had it. When they examined the failure, the cracks all traced back to the same place, the corner of a window. And the enemy finally had a name: metal fatigue. Here's what was happening. Every time the Comet climbed, the sealed cabin swelled with pressure, ever so slightly, like a balloon inflating. On the ground, it relaxed again. Inflate, relax. Inflate, relax. Once for every single flight. Now, across a smooth, curved surface, that stress spreads out evenly, and the metal shrugs it off. But at a sharp corner, the stress has nowhere to go. It concentrates. It focuses onto one tiny point, like sunlight through a magnifying glass. And with every flight, an invisible crack crept outward from that corner, until one day, without warning, the metal gave way, and the cabin tore itself apart in a fraction of a second. And the solution? It was almost insultingly simple. Round off the corners. A curve gives the stress no single point to attack. It flows the force gently around the edge, so no part of the metal ever carries more than it can bear. That one change turned a lethal window into a safe one. The Comet itself never truly recovered. While engineers spent years fixing it, American planes took the lead and never gave it back. But its sacrifice rewrote the rules of flight. Every pressurized cabin built since was shaped by the lesson buried in its wreckage. So the next time you rest your head against that little oval of glass, look closely at its edges. That gentle curve is not for beauty. It was paid for in tragedy. A quiet reminder that in engineering, a sharp corner is where everything breaks, and a curve is what survives.